All right, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I would like to call to order the Employees Retirement System of the Government of the Virgin Islands regular meeting of the Board of Trustees to order. Roll call, please.
Good morning, Trustee Carwood,
Present.
Trustee Barry,
Present.
Dana Clendening, excused. Trustee Cohen,
Present.
Trustee Liger,
Present.
Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith. Trustee Smith. I see that she's a participant.
Yeah.
Trustee Smith,
She stepped out.
huh?
She stepped out.
All right, we get it when she comes back.
Absent. Chairman Calendar,
Present.
Chair 5 present, 2 absent, 1 excused.
Thank you.
Morning, I'm present.
Okay, Trustee Smith is
I'm
present.
present, Chairman Callender.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, 6 present.
Morning.
Thank you. We have
1
a call.
absent, 1 excused.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Neb, you doing okay?
I'm trying my best. Whopper just went, so I don't know if my laptop have enough battery, but it's plugged. It's, but I'll wait
I
and see.
don't,
Huh?
I'm not talking about WAP, I'm talking about you.
Oh, well, I'm recovering. I'm on the, I'm in a meeting, so that means that says something. I wanted
Not
to,
well.
but it's very painful. But,
Mr. Nibs is stubborn. Even if he ain't feeling good, he's still coming to work. You know that.
but
Exactly.
I'm using
You
my
understand
left
that,
hand.
right?
I'm using my left hand, so,
Oh.
All right, okay.
okay,
All right, thank you for being here.
thank you.
Comments and suggestions from retirees? We none, okay. Secretary's minutes, the regular meeting, November 20th, 2020. Any correction, addition, deletions? Any comments? No one? I have two typos. And in the attendance, you have Trustee Smith absent twice. And under the third paragraph, under number 3, some board members and the administrator, it has does, it should be do, just typos. Those are only 2 typos I found. Need a motion for acceptance?
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the minutes with corrections.
Okay, and I'll second.
Trustee Carwood,
Yes.
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Liger,
I wasn't at that meeting, so I will not vote.
not voting. Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith,
Not voting.
Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
Chair, 4 yes, 2 not voting, 1 absent.
Okay, minutes have been accepted. Communications and correspondences?
None, sir. I
No.
think, yeah. What was I think we already submitted it to the board, and it's something that, it had to do with the testimonies on 2 bills. I think those submitted to the board in advance. So I don't think we need to go through that again. We did receive, obviously, I was going to discuss that in my report, obviously the appointment of the new trustee, the Central Labor Council trustee. That correspondence came in yesterday, but I would discuss that later on in the meeting.
All right, thank you. Chairman's report, I have just two comments. There continues to be a misunderstanding among the GIS members and members of the community regarding the now infamous 42% reduction in benefits that was proposed to take effect on January 1, 2021. During the past month, I have received numerous calls from retirees and other individuals asking me to confirm the impending cuts. I had to assure them that there will be no reductions in their benefits, and for the final time, let me inform the members that this board has no authority to reduce their benefits. Only the governor and the legislature can initiate such an act. And since both have said that they will not reduce anyone's annuity, you can all now relax regarding any cuts taking effect on January 1, 2021. I want to thank and show appreciation to Mrs. Clendenin Gums and her team for the outstanding job they did in putting on the annual employee recognition and appreciation dinner, which was held on December 10th. The viral pandemic made it necessary for the team to think outside of the box, and they were successful in doing so, at least on St. Thomas. An added bonus for the event was that the system did not have to rent a venue. Hammerside Mall parking lot turned out to be an appropriate venue. Again, thank you, Ms. Clendenin. End of my comments. Administrator's report.
Good morning again. As brief as possible. On the 23rd, I met with the staff to formulate an SOP regards to the board's ruling on the physical exams for disability applicants. The same day, I met with the Oversight Committee and Haven-Side Merchants Association regarding strategic alliance with hotels and Haven-Side Mall to increase foot traffic in the mall. On November 24th, was an all-staff meeting where just about all staff were present virtually. On November 25th, I had a follow-up meeting with Governor Bryan and his team. On December 1st, I met with the Oversight Committee and VI Department of Tourism, Joe Bushalty, and his team regarding the notice to quit and moving forward with negotiations for the Welcome Center. December 8th, I submitted testimony to the President of the Legislature after discussing with him that I couldn't appear on Bill number 33-0446. He had asked me to have Siegel there. I contacted Alwyn Frias, and Alwyn Frias did attend the session. On December 9th, I sent testimony to Chairman of the committee, Kurt Valet, letting him know the situation. He asked if someone could have attended. I appointed Kathy to attend. However, that bill was tabled. Nothing of research was done, from what I understand. That had to do with the changing of 14% to 20% of the fuel tax, which would probably bring in about $5 to $6 million annually. We did do some research and got some information from the Department of Finance. They started collecting back in 2012, and The last 9 years or so, average was about $5 million. On December 11, there was a return to work hearing, Griffin versus GRS, that is continued. Did not happen. On December 15, I was a guest on Straight Talk with Redfield. I also, in the beginning of the program, as the chairman said, I made it known that the 42% cut cannot be done by GRS unilaterally, and it would not happen unless the legislature does something between now and the end of the year. On December 16th, I had a meeting with the Havenside Mall Oversight Committee yesterday, which was very fruitful. I invited board counsel Pedro Williams, and he attended. As far as our rent applications, as you can see, in 2020, our applications have dwindled down to 196. Prior year was 315. Prior year, 2018, was 403. So telling us that individuals are not retiring in droves like they used to. They are looking at what's going to happen with the system. That's what I'm reading from it. And they're trying to see what options they have. However, in 2020, we do still have 114 that's to be processed for a lot of different reasons, maybe snowbirds, maybe waiting for ADEC payments. It also could be exit NOPers, missing employee contributions, a lot of things. I don't have that information readily available. However, if Ms. Glendinning wants to interject, she may ask the reasons why only 82 out of 196 were completed. I would assume that most of a lot of these teachers probably waiting. Yes, Ms. Glendinning?
Mr. Nibbs, we're waiting on postings of contributions as well as NOPers. We have placed all the persons on payroll that we could up until the end of October, up until the end of September. And we're waiting for postings of contributions and NOPers to continue the rest. Most of them were December 31st, so they're pending. So what you see that huge number is because they're pending retirement December 31st, and as you know, that has not come yet.
And probably didn't receive the first payment until probably actually.
Correct.
Still the same with the disability life certificates. Same number.
Mr. Nibbs, you made reference to ADEC payments. What's that?
Additional employer contributions. We do collect the ADEC from the board had made a decision to collect the ADEC from the hazardous employees like police, fire, WAPA, and judges, or legislators. I know one legislator is waiting for it to be paid. So hello.
Think we lost the Nibbs?
Yeah, I went out.
I can hear you.
Oh.
I can hear you, Mr. Nibbs. I don't know about the rest.
I think he's going in and out.
Anyone come forward?
If you heard from him, we try to reach him to find out if we close him tomorrow morning.
Hello,
Try to reach him too.
hello.
Yes?
Okay, I got cut off, internet. Internet went down, just came back up. I'm sorry about that. Are you hearing me now?
Yeah. I heard
Okay,
you.
Trustee Barry was
Yes.
asking about, yeah. And what I indicated to him is that the board had made a determination some years back to collect the additional determined contributions from our Class 3 employees and judges and senators and all of that upfront. So we do bill the legislature, judiciary, and any semi-autonomous agencies that have Class 3 employees. We do bill the ADEC.
Okay.
Thank you. In regards to contributions processing, as you can see, we have paid out about $1.1 million so far in refunds, the regular refunds which vested members. We have paid out $984,000, which is just about more than 90% of the 1.1 million. Debt benefits we have paid out so far from October through October 2019 through September 30, 20. Oh, no, I'm sorry, from October 2020 to September, so the last 3 months, we have paid out $31,000. We do have a number of cases to be completed, approximately 80 cases. As far as annuity payments, I want to say that we are experiencing a significant amount of downtime right now because of issues in the WAPA. WAPA has really played tricks on us for the last few days, and I'm affected right now. My WAPA went down, and the payroll have to go out. So for the end of the month, so our systems were down for the last 2 days. No one is in the office. The office building is actually closed today because WAPA went down. Our generator did not function as it should. So also the air conditioner contractor was doing some preliminary work with chillers and also with the ducts. So, you know, the temperature in the building was like in the 80s. So no one is there right now. However, I know that Ms. Jeremiah and our team will try to get that payroll done this week or next week. Number of retirees as of November 30, 2020, 8,691. Our payroll so far from October through the end of November, $42,923,777.01. Number of retirees placed in the payroll since October 1, 38. Number of retirees deleted from the payroll, 46. Member loans portfolio, as you can see, our units for personal loans is reducing every month. 30 from last month have been closed out. Our balance in the portfolio is $30.1 million. St. Croix office building. The annual inspection, I just gave a summary. Annual inspection of the fire protection was scheduled, however, that was delayed and a date to be set very soon. And there was some delay and also with the landscaping. The company is currently awaiting the arrival of the start of this phase. I guess they're waiting for the plants. Some projects, the security doors, which we did reported before, are currently awaiting delivery of the doors from Puerto Rico. This was some recommendation that was made by TEMA in regards to having some security doors installed in the St. Croix office. We did have some had to have called police. Some disgruntled members came in, and, you know, a few times, and we had to call the police a couple times to remove them from the building. There were threats and things like that. The St. Thomas office building, like I just said, I'll just summarize it because some of the projects have been completed that were reported in the last period. We do have a significant amount of issues right now. There are a lot of projects going on. Our main concern is the roof project, which has started. However, we also have the air conditioning installation of the U unit. And that we did have some malfunction in that too, with the whopper and the generator going down, not clicking in, and transfer switch not working as it should. This is something that we have never really experienced in years, where we have something like this happening. It usually would kick in, but it did not. So they're working on that. And like I said, the office is actually closed. The building, our tenants understand the issue. And some employees did come in, but it's unbearable to work in the office. So the building is actually closed down. The project is 100% complete. We did send out our PSA on the closing of the building this morning. The lighting project is about 75% complete. The surveillance camera project is about 50% complete. Fire alarm system, 100%. Inspection was done and was conducted. So those projects have been completed. The other capital projects, that's like a reconfiguration and full renovation of the lobby area to bring it up to code. Also looking at some energy efficient lighting and faucets and urinals, and to try to save some monies in water and all of that, and electricity. We were advised by FEMA that it is releasing a check from FEMA for $419,000 to us. This is for the Havenside Mall cameras that were 137 cameras that were damaged during the 2017 hurricanes. We were reimbursed at the 90% rate, so we are going to be getting back $419,000 that will go to the Havenside Mall. As far as our leases, most of our leases are current, and we did reach out to the tenants and let them know about the current one-year lease that we are now going to be adhering to. So we really don't have any pushback from any of our tenants. The only person I think that have not really responded is Casino Control Commission. We haven't heard anything from them as yet. As far as our rental and electricity collections, for November, we collected $15,637.12, all in rental. Totally date, we collected $28,021.90. Of that, $777 is electric. The majority of the collections for the facilities have been the rental. We do have a significant arrearage. You can follow exhibit 1. We have almost $372,022.06 in arrearages. The majority is the electrical arrearages. We haven't been reimbursed for our electrical funds that were put out by GERS. The majority of that is Department of Justice, $204,792.74, following with the Division of Personnel, $66,628.44. Rental arrearage is about $98,000. Again, Department of Justice, $74,126, and Division of Personnel, $13,000. So we, on top of, we have sent out letters to them, letting them know that they are in arrears, and obviously this hurt our cash flow because we pay out and then we have to wait for those funds to come in at a later time. In regards to our strategic plan, I did send a letter to Dr. Hall at the University of the Virgin Islands.
Mr. Nibbs, I have a
Yes,
I
sir.
have a question. You said you sent letters out. Who did those letters go to?
We do send out letters every billings, and it's a cover letter and plus a schedule of the billings goes to the head of the agency.
Just a comment here. In recent times, the governor has publicly announced that they're in a good cash position. I mean, I heard or read, I don't recall whether I heard or read, he made the comment that they hadn't had so much cash on hand for a long, long time. So I wonder if it is a way we could escalate our campaign to get paid. I know you send letters to the agency, but I'm assuming that they already know they're in arrears. So do we copy the letters to like OMB or Department of Finance, or is there a way we could escalate that up? I mean, it's disheartening to hear that there's so much cash on hand and everybody's being paid and we got these big arrears sitting here.
Mr. Nibbs, may I?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Clinton.
Thank you. Trustee Bory, the last serious delinquent letter was sent to OMB. It was copied to Jennifer O'Neill, the director. I spoke directly with the Attorney General about their arrears, and their issue is their WAPA is a single payer, how it's line itemed in the budget. So because GRS is not WAPA, they're just having a little difficulty paying us with those funds because they're line item for WAPA. But she was made aware of the situation and it should be rectified shortly.
So then it's OMB's responsibility to pay the single payment, right?
Well, what they've been doing is the agencies would submit it to them for payment. So we just copied the serious delinquency letter to OMB so they could be aware that the GRS is waiting for payment.
Okay, so that's our policy going forward, copy to OMB. Okay,
On electricity.
right.
Trustee Boru, we can't hear you.
What about the renter?
The rental payments are in the queue for payment.
They're in what?
They're in the queue for payment. We should receive those shortly.
At finance?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So it's going to be, we're going to come up to date. Is that what you understand?
That is exactly what I understand.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, as far as there were some events, I think that, like I said, I was talking about a strategic plan. And we did send a letter to the president of the university. I was made aware a couple of days ago by Ms. Clendon that there was a proposal that came in. We have to sit and discuss it in regards to pricing and things like that. There was an all-staff meeting that was held 11/24, which was mentioned before. 101 attendees.
Sorry to interrupt you. What was this? What is it we asking UVI to do?
We asking the University of Virgin Islands did 5 years ago to be facilitator in assisting us with our strategic plan for the next 5 years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All staff members, as is customary, receive a Thanksgiving card, $25 gift from Cosculus. This has been something that has been done before I came. The annual employee recognition, Chairman Calendar mentioned that, and I've already congratulated Ms. Flandin on what she did, so that we can engage our members, our employees during these uncertain times. This, as far as I understand, there was social distancing, masks were worn, so we were safe with that one. And they stayed in their cars most of the time. There was some type of a movie shown. There was a big screen. I did get pictures and see what it was. I couldn't attend. And I offered my apologies to the staff. I've received, like I said, Andrew Dorsey nomination as the Central Labor Council trustee was approved by the committee in the whole last week. Mr. Dorsey have been contacting me on this. I received some correspondence documents, his appointment papers from the office of the governor a couple of days ago. Unfortunately, there were errors in the documents. I returned them, and they will be correcting the documents and sending them back to us. Yesterday, I received a copy of the oath of office sent directly to me. Ordinarily, I wouldn't receive these. I don't know why the appointment letter was not really sent directly to the chairman of the board. However, I will send the oath of office to Mr. Dorsey. I'm not sure if he was copied. And he would, I guess, have to have someone swearing him. I don't know if we want to do it. It can be done, I guess, in our meeting virtually. I would assume it can be. I'm not sure. I need to, or he can have it done by some attorney or a judge or someone that would sign off or notarize it. So I've never gotten involved in that. So, Mr. Chairman,
it could be done by a notary.
yeah, anyone, like I say, if we have the stenographer here next meeting, I guess if we have the appointment papers and they're duly corrected, I guess the stenographer can swear him in. But that is something we'll wait and see. We're not gonna do anything, I don't think, until we receive the corrected appointment papers, which were effective December 14th. The last thing is the retiree election in St. Croix. I considered a special election. We came up with some dates for the election. A couple retirees did contact me. One of them said they never knew that there was an election, and things like that. And those people seems to be qualified. And hopefully the individuals also that I reached out to would put their hat in the ring, and then we'll have our an election. But these are the dates that we came up with. If there are any suggestions to change dates, or let us know, because we're ready to go to start advertising immediately for picking up of the packages on January 8th. That ends my report.
I just want to thank you, Mr. Nibbs, for the efforts for trying to get us a St. Croix representative.
Well, I was on Redfield show on the 15th, and that 42% cut was the first thing I started with. It was a very good show. We did it by phone, but I looked at the Facebook presentation. It was very well. I did disseminate a significant amount of information. I also talked about the retiree election on that show. I don't know how many members, retirees listen to the show, but we plan to at least advertise in the Avis at least twice a week for the period. And then we also going to do it on the website. We may send out some PSAs also over the radio. We do have a radio program. We'll do that. I am also, I don't know how many people listen to a special station in 90.5, but I was invited next Monday to be on that show. So we will do whatever we can to advertise. We will also send out the emails like we did before to the retiree groups. We do have emails in our current contact. And we will do that also for the St. Croix people. So we send it out directly to whatever retiree we have email contacts for. We send it out to the head of the organization. You know, I don't know what to do other than that.
Mr. Nibbs?
Advertise on the St. Croix station. We can probably send it directly to the most listened St. Croix stations and see how it gets over. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Nibbs?
Yes.
Okay. So a few months ago, I remember I asked a question about the St. Thomas retiree and the process that we did with Mr. Because when we met and you told us about Mr. Callwood, and I indicated some concerns about how it was done because there may be some questions. Now, I'm not sure we didn't get an opportunity to further discuss it because based on, and what I'm looking at is potential challenges, especially from people like Mary Moorhead, who question the validity of, or our decision, as she thinks she put it, of not accepting certain candidate or certain, Bert Bryan in particular, based on his credentials. And I'm not sure about the credentials of Mr. Callwood, and I don't want to put us in the position that, well, they won't be me because Mr. Dorsey will probably be seated by then, for GRS to come under fire based on the possibility of what the perception of fast tracking the St. Thomas retiree, based on the fact that you said there was none and then the one came after, and then the energy that's being put forth for the St. Croix retiree. I want to make sure, because I hear Mary Moorhead in the back of my head, and I could see that challenge, especially if Mr. Callwood was not totally vetted.
Ms. Trustee Carver, let me respond this way. We followed the procedures, dotted all T's, crossed all T's, dotted all I's. We followed the procedures that the board approved. This is the third time, the fourth time I'm doing this since I've been here. We had 2 committees involved. So we looked at all the credentials. We asked for information from the university where he's an instructor. We did everything, and I think he's eminently qualified. I sent, the chairman asked for the information and all of our papers that we had to prepare. I sent them to the chairman. He didn't respond and said that he was not qualified, but we are confident. I would stand on my own that the gentleman is qualified. But we follow the timing as far as the procedures. Whether Mary Moorhead wants to say it was fast track, it was not fast track. We follow the procedures to the T.
Okay.
We look at the timing when we have to contact the person, have to advertise it and all of that. So we followed it to the T. I think I gave more time because I sent it to the board force and said, this is what we have. I didn't hear anything from the board, so I followed the procedures.
Well, you did hear from me because I asked about it. I did ask about it.
I heard that you asked about it, but like I said, I followed it to the T.
Okay, and so you did vet him with the Options University and everything that.
That's correct.
Okay.
We got documentation in the file. I'm a former auditor. I'm not going to.
Yeah, but I said, but that response wasn't given. I made the inquiry and that response wasn't given.
Well, the thing is that in it 3 or 4 times I've done it, and I think the board did it. The board never wanted to get involved. That's why they gave the responsibility to the administrator, and the administrator set up the committees.
But just keep in mind, you've initially said that there were no applicants, and then the next time you said there was one applicant. So to us, it seemed that it came in after the fact.
Well,
so that's why we asked.
They're not coming
to us, it seemed that way. That's what I said. Then you said it was there before. But at first, we were told that there were no applicants, and then, I mean, I know the young man. We've all met him before, so I'm not questioning. I'm not necessarily. I just want to make sure that the procedures and his credentials have been vetted so that this does not come back to bite us.
as far as I think, there was a clock in that came in. I think he came in on the last day.
Okay.
Correct, Mr. Nibbs, if I may. The question was asked on the 22nd board meeting. The deadline was 5 p.m. on the 23rd.
Third.
Came in on the 23rd morning, just for clarification on the record.
Thank you. So that was all the questions we were asking. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I saw, I think you asked the question to Ms. Clendon, I don't know if you have, I think she did tell me about it. So I said, well, it came in on the 23rd, so we have already vetted it. So maybe that's why I didn't respond to you, because I think your question was to Ms. Clendon.
If I may, Mr. Chair, to Ms. Clendenin Gomes, I believe you were the chair of the organizer of the election committee, correct?
That's correct.
Could you tell us what constitutes the 5-year experience, the statutory requirement?
Can we discuss this? Maybe we need to discuss this in executive session.
I can't hear it.
Hello?
I can't hear anymore.
Well, if it's personal matters, I think it should be discussed in executive session.
Definitely.
I agree. Seems like it's heading to an executive session kind of discussion.
That's why I'm asking
regards-
executive.
Yes.
Yes, executive session. Mr. Nibbs, in regards to the Havenside Mall, did we have any tenants that closed their business because of the COVID?
Well, when you say close, abandon the leasehold, or are you saying that they
closing a business for good?
Well, there are a couple that asked us. We haven't made any decision on that. If they're going to close, my position is if they're thinking about that, then they should have some agreement with us to find a tenant and maybe do a sublease. That would be my position.
Okay, because there was hearing some rumors that some of them might be going out of business.
Discussing with the board internally with the oversight committee, we did, discuss it. However, is that is still obligated to inside mall to pay rent.
Okay. And then
then some agreement has to be made to amend the lease, to maybe for a subleasing agreement. And they would have to find the tenant to bring the tenant at the same rate. And any arrearages in between that time would have to be their obligation.
Okay, thank you.
That's my position. The board may take another position, but that's my position, what I would recommend.
So you would recommend that if they go out of business,
there's a legal, huh?
No, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, there's a legal obligation, and we I've discussed it with my counsel, and we think we share the same opinion that there's a legal obligation to pay the rent. If you want to vacate your lease or terminate it, then we need to enter into some amendment for you to sublease to someone else, because if and if that person wants to come in, there are people out there who are looking for spaces in Havenside Mall. They contact us every week if there are any spaces to rent. That's my position. Board may take a different position.
Thank you.
It's just like when you vacate, you want to vacate your apartment and you're into a lease, you can negotiate with your landlord to have someone sublease it out so that there will be no loss to the landlord.
Okay. Thanks.
So, I mean, I'm not sure I follow that, but I guess we will have that discussion another time. I mean, if the business is going out of business, the entity that we have an arrangement with is no longer going to exist. how are they subleasing our property? I'm not sure I understand that one.
Okay.
I have a tenant. Kathy, you want to respond?
Yeah, what we're saying, Mr. Bowery, is you find a tenant, they don't have to necessarily sublease it. They can find a substitute tenant, and then we can do a new lease with the new tenant. And then there wouldn't be a sublease. So all we're asking them is to find a substitute tenant if you want to get out of your lease. But you still have a legal obligation to pay the rent.
Suppose, I mean, I thought I was understanding that these are people who are going out of business.
Yeah.
But it depends on, I'd have to look at the individual lease, how the lease reads, what the, if it's in an individual or if it's in a corporation, a lot of issues that you would have to look at to see what their obligation is.
I would recommend, again, something like this be discussed in executive session. There could be individuals listening that have contacted me. I know that there's a tenant who has 3 businesses in the VR, different locations. It's just that he's closed over in Havenside Mall. He wants to get out of his lease.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine with executive session discussion. I just need to get clarification.
And lastly, Mr. Nibs, do we still have a warranty on the generator? Since we having problem with WAPA knocking it out every so often.
Which generator?
You said the generator had problems with the power.
GRS
Yes,
generator. I'm not
yeah.
too sure about what that old generator. You know, I mean, it's not 5 years. I think it's been there since I've been here. But it's been operating. It's serviced every month and everything. But something with a surge, there was some issue that the transfer switch didn't kick in. So, okay.
Yeah, thanks. Because I've seen other agents.
The generator was running, but no current to the building and all kind of stuff was happening with the craziness that was happening with WAPA. And that happened also over at Havenside Mall. Terrible experience over there this week.
Yeah. WAPA needs to be responsible for giving us a generator.
Yeah. But I'm not sure a warranty for our GERS building. Usually generators are maybe like 10 years or so. 13. We can check on that. I'm not too sure.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah. I had tried to say St. John. Keep it in my corner.
Okay. Right.
Mr. Nibs, are you completed? You report?
Yes, I'm complete.
Any other trustee? Any other question for the administrator? Or the other question will be answered in executive session. All right. Committee reports.
I'll start. This would probably be my last meeting as a trustee. So as that means I will no longer be policy committee chair. So I'd like to thank everyone for all the work that they've done in assisting me with the policies that we put into place during my tenure. So thank you very much. I appreciated all the support, and this was a wonderful experience.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other committee chair?
As far as the budget committee is concerned, as chair, I received a proposed budget for the Havenside Mall, and I did not schedule a committee meeting for the reasons that I explained in a letter that I sent to you, Dr. Kinder, and all the other members of the board. As you all know, I've had some misgivings about the idea of the GRS assuming operational responsibility for the mall. You know, when we acquired the mall, it was an investment. And I'm aware, and you know, I'm aware that of the fact that that we are not comfortable, or I'm looking for a stronger word, but with the arrangement with WICO. And I have no issue with our decision to discontinue that relationship. But I have some serious concerns about assimilating that operation in the current GRS structure for several reasons, which I outlined in the letter. Mall management is not what we do. We should treat it as an investment that is no longer giving positive returns. The same way we handled Carambola. We took it over. We took the first opportunity we got out of it because we're not in the hotel business. I think before we ramp up to and take on staff, at the time when we're looking at ramping down towards insolvency. So, I mean, it sort of contradicts what our position at the retreat when we advise management to begin to develop a plan for ramping down operations in view of the pending insolvency in 2 years. And adding staff on the GRS payroll as GRS staff is just going to complicate that effort. The other thing is that just looking at the budget that was submitted and the operations, the budget is indicating an operating deficit of $2.4 million for 2021, which is going to wipe out our cash reserves in a couple of years. I don't see the system, the mall, becoming profitable in time for when we're going to have to sell it. And remember that the 2023 insolvency date assumes that at that time we have already sold all our assets, not only the financial assets, but the real estate assets, including our buildings and the mall and our land. You recall that whenever we get our reports from the actuaries, they point out that although the insolvency date is 2023, that we may run out of cash before then, of liquid cash, because part of the assets that are included in the 2023 date is the mall and those other assets that that are not liquid. And so I think if nothing happens, we're probably going to have to start thinking about selling the mall in a year or so anyway, so that we don't get caught trying to sell it when in distress. And it's the worst time to sell anything is when you're in bankruptcy.
Trustee Bowery?
Yes.
Why don't we hold those discussions, and we can do all of that in executive session too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that, and just to explain, that's why the reason why I didn't schedule a budget committee meeting on the budget.
Yes, Trustee Barry, I'm hearing what you're saying, but I thought you would have invited us. I think we could have bring more clarity, because a lot of those monies that we expended are reimbursable to us. So,
Well,
I was just very, surprised that you didn't invite us so that we can sit down and discuss this more.
Well, I mean, I think we need to make the basic decision first. I mean, it's no point going through this budget if this budget assumes that we're taking it over. And I'm saying that we need to I would like the board to make a decision about that before we get into the budget.
Well, you know, we have done that. We have done that before. We have sent out RFP for management, and what they said to us, even stateside management, they said it's too much political interference. They don't want to be bothered with it.
Okay, okay, so we have, so.
Yeah, we have done this. We have done this years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago. We sent out RFPs for management. They didn't want to manage it.
Listen, we're gonna keep on doing this, and we're gonna, let's do all of this in executive session, please.
Okay.
All right.
I was just telling that I thought you would have, you know, because we were waiting for it, because we wanted to, you know, tell you what we did and what was happening, but we didn't get an invitation.
But we still have time to do that.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Any other committee chair? Okay, if not, then we will move on to the treasurer's report.
Good morning, Board Chair and other trustees. This is the Government Employees Retirement System Schedule of Receipts and Disbursement for the month ending November 30th, 2020. Receipts from collections, loan repayment, $1,461,979. Year-to-date, $2,678,993. Rent from tenants / utilities, $17,288 year-to-date, $35,736. The rents from Havenside tenants is in a separate report, even though I have it on here. So it's $118,173 year-to-date, $233,089. Employer contributions, $8,051,729. Year-to-date, $14,797,440. Employee retirement contributions, $3,688,009. Year-to-date, $7,129,473. Parking facility, $1,130. Year-to-date, $1,830. Miscellaneous, $314,403. Year-to-date, $329,894. Total collection of $13,652,711. Total year-to-date total collection, $25,206,459. Disbursements, annuity payments, $22,434,155. Year-to-date, $44,151,570. Administrative expenses, $1,016,918. Year-to-date, $2,349,143. Personal loans, $13,351 year-to-date, $94,183. Mortgage loans, $19,182 year-to-date, $26,992. Retiree loans year-to-date, $1,456. There is nothing for auto loans and land loans. Refunds of contribution, $591,913. Year-to-date, $1,308,585 for total disbursement of $75,582. Year-to-date, $47,911,929 for a net cash deficit of $10,422,871. Year-to-date, net cash deficit of 22,705,470. That ends the reading of the Treasurer's report.
Trustees, any questions for Ms. Jeremiah? Trustees?
I have no questions, sir.
Budget Director? Budget Committee Chair?
No question, no questions.
Question? Anyone else? No? Then I need a motion for acceptance.
I'll move to accept.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Carlwood,
Yes.
trustee Barry,
Yes,
trustee Cohen,
Yes.
trustee Liger,
Yeah,
trustee McDonald, absent, trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
6 yes, 1 absent.
Thank you, sir. Treasurer's report has been accepted. Investment Officer's report. Do we have someone from the, oh, Leo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Calendar, trustees, staff, and members of the public. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
great.
Great. Well, I was asked again by Mr. Nemes to provide a brief update of the status of the investments. I have performance updated through the end of November, and I will share that. I know Gustavo was here last month and provided performance through the end of October. As you probably have seen in the news and other media, it's been a very, very strong month. And so your portfolio gained. I will share screen with you. If you give me 1 second. Let me know if you can see it. Can you see the report?
Yes.
All right. So we'll start with the cash flow summary. And unsurprisingly, there is more money going out than it is coming in. And in this quarter to date, so the month of October and November, the first 2 months of the new fiscal year, debt imbalance was about $15 million. About half of that was offset by investment gains. So the fund declined by about $8 million, give or take, in value. Again, keep in mind this excludes any local assets that we don't advise or monitor or typically report. The period return, as you look to the right, was just under 2%, 1.6% for the portfolio. In the next slide, you see the year-to-date, so this covers 11 of the past 12 months. You see again the disparity between money going in, contributions column about 31 million, and withdrawals 123 million. Investment gains were 32 and change, so the ending value again eroded from 513 million to about 455, despite a gain of about 7%, which was right on track with the old assumed rate of return. And for the last year, we include just an additional month. In this case, you still see a deficit of over $100 million, and the period return was 7.6%. The fund, looking at the asset allocation, very similar as the past meetings. There hasn't been any major activity with respect to rebalancing or liquidating a position. Equities have increased in value, and so they went up from 12 to 13% of the fund. The balance is fixed income and cash. That's roughly 85% of the fund. And then the alternative assets are the two Mistral private equity funds that have been in a distribution mode and then are getting smaller. So here you see graphically the blue line at the top. It got the smallest at the end of March, coincident with the drawdown in the market. Then the market has a rally on the equity side, and it has increased a bit the weight in the total portfolio from about 10% to 13%. The alternative assets is the purple line, and you can see it getting smaller gradually. That's our expectation in the next few years. It should be much, much smaller. The big one is the red, which is the government bonds and credits that you own that are all domestic. To conclude the performance, again, as I mentioned, it's been a very strong month of November. October, not so much. December, you know, up market, but much, much more reduced size. And so we don't expect a lot of movement in December year to date. So, you know, you're about 1.6 for these first 2 months of the year, which is pretty good given your allocation and where interest rates are. And for the year, as I mentioned, 7%. But if you look across 1, 3, 5, and 10, very consistent performance.
Nelson is one.
Doctors for what?
What's her name? Just need to
Pedro, you need to mute your mic.
I'm sorry, I was trying to, I stopped because I heard somebody asking a question, I think.
You can proceed.
Okay, my bad. So I was stating that the performance has been very consistent and pretty good, actually, if you look at it compared to peers, but also compared to your own goals, exceeding the assumed rate of return assumption. When you annualize that over multiple year horizon, whether it is 1, 3, 5, 10, or even since inception in 81, it compounds at just under 9%. That's net of fees. The domestic equity assets, as I mentioned, comprise 13%. So you'll see the strongest gains. It's been a very strong decade for US equities. And so you used to have a very large position there. It was the largest part of the portfolio, with the advice from the actuary that the current situation at GERS is not going to be sold along with investments. We started this dynamic allocation model, which essentially was reducing equities to avoid situations like the first quarter of this year when that would have been very detrimental to the fund because it doesn't have long enough time to recoup those losses. Fixed income was the beneficiary of a secular decline in interest rates. So overall, again, very positive annualized gains, over 7% since inception in 81. And here's what you own. Again, this is the same as you have seen in the past few months. You own one large cap index fund, which is the largest 1,000 stocks as deemed by Russell and reconstituted yearly. So that's your equity allocation. And then on the fixed income side, you have one actively managed core bond account by Pew. And they managed to add a bit of value with, you know, managed risks. So they are meeting their mandate. And then you have TIPS, which are government securities indexed for inflation. And then you have a broad basket of bonds essentially pegged to the index, which is the Bloomberg Barclays US Aggregate Total Return Index. The two mutual funds, as I mentioned, are getting smaller now. They comprise about $12 million, and they are fully in distribution mode. The next few pages show the performance year by year, and I think it's done by calendar and fiscal year, but I think 7 out of 10 beat the assumed rate of return. But again, when you annualize that, the losses have been pretty small. You get 2 losses on absolute figures of about 1% each, and 1 gain of 5%, which, you know, was behind the assumed rate of return, I believe, that year. But when you annualize all of these over 1, 3, 5, 10, you come at 7 or above, essentially. And lastly, this is a very efficient daily liquid portfolio, except for those two Mesero pieces, which are very small, 12 million. The rest has daily liquidity and very, very manageable fees. So you're paying about 8 basis points for all of your public market investments. So that is my report. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody might have.
I trust you. Any questions?
Hi, Leo. This is Leona.
Yes, Leona. Good morning.
So are we fine? How are you doing? Are we still on track for insolvency for 2023? No hope on horizon?
Well, I think 2 months ago, we had a presentation that was lengthier where also the actuary joined and there was a lot more discussion on the topic. And I don't recall the exact month, but it didn't change a whole lot, maybe by a few months from prior plans from years ago. So I think it is still on track. Investments alone, as stated then, is not going to solve it. There's been a deficit in money coming into the system for decades now that is very difficult to correct unless there is a very large inflow of assets to come very, very soon. And then you can count on some expected gains to eventually turn it around. But barring that, I think, it's going to be pretty close to the plan from the past, which is still, around 2023, 2024. I don't recall the actual, I don't have that presentation in front of me with the actual date, but you're correct. That is the direction where the system is headed, unfortunately.
Any other question?
Thanks, Leo.
Anything else? If not, as usual, Leo, thank you very much for what you do.
Well, thank you, Dr. Callender, and it's good to see you all. I wish everybody happy holidays. Thank you again for the trust in us. We're always here to help. Let us know how we can do that. And I look forward to seeing you again early in 2021. Be safe.
All right. Be good now. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Okay, next, new business, regular session, approval of the 2021 board meeting calendar. Everyone has the calendar in front of them? Yes?
Yeah, do we need it to approve it? I mean, if you want. Okay. So
I'm just questioning in December. We've got the meeting typically on the fourth Thursday. Do we know when Christmas is? Christmas going to be that weekend? It's enough time not to worry about it.
Well, you can decide.
Dr. Callender, if I may, I just want to mention that in June, the National Association of Public Pension Attorneys, their conference is June 22nd through the 25th. And normally the attorneys go to that. And so you might not have an attorney. Usually you move the date because of that conference. You move the date up a week. Pedro usually mentions it, but I don't see him on, so he may have forgotten.
All right.
What you mean you don't see me?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I only see Dr. Callender. We're very small, so I can look at the calendar. You slipped in your duty, Pedro. You usually mention this.
So, the attorneys will want to have the meeting scheduled for the 17th. We need you present, so trustees, any problem with doing that? Trustees?
I stepped out. I'm back right now to exactly what you're referring to, Chairman.
June. The meeting for June is now scheduled for the 24th. the councils are usually gone that week, so they're asking to have the meeting rescheduled for the week of the 17th. And we usually accommodate that.
I have no problem.
I'm fine with that, Mr. Chairman, and I assume that we're looking at the December too. We want to move that to the 16th. Is that what you're saying, Mr. McDonough? Not McDonough, no.
I recommend that, Mr. Chairman, this December you move it up because some people may be going on vacation. There's a lot of vacations around that time.
Right, so we recommend you move the meeting to December to the 16th.
So we sound like.
Come on, trustees, I'm not gonna be here. You're all gonna be here, so you all need to decide what you want.
It sounds like they're asking to move the June to a week earlier, the 17th, and the December for a week earlier, the 16th.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Mr. Chairman, also, usually in 1 month you have the board retreat. It's usually held in July. As you know, this year we held it in October. It was virtual. So I don't know if you want to go back to the July board retreat month.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean, yeah. You mean eliminate the July meeting and put the retreat in?
Yeah, well, last year we did it in October, but it was scheduled for July last year. But usually we've been doing it for the last X amount in July. It's when we used to have the investment, everyone coming, but we're doing it virtually now, so it could be any month. But I would recommend that you continue in July.
Okay.
On that same day, so are you just arguing to eliminate the board meeting for that?
Well, usually you eliminate the board meeting. We would have the 3 or 4 days board retreat in July, and there will be no business meeting in July.
Okay. I'm fine with that too.
You want me just do it the same week as the day of the board meeting, so it'll be the week of July 20th to the 23rd, depending on how many days you want to schedule it for.
You know, well, yeah, because sometimes we have to try to make arrangements for the professionals, the consultants. So usually it used to be like in the first week of July, so they always used to carve out that week. That's how it used to be. I mean, you can put 2 options. Either this first week of July, it could be the 4th week. Maybe you have just 2 options, and then when you get your okay from your consultants, you pick or choose. Since there's going to be no business meeting, we can have 2 option dates and just leave it open. It's up to you. But it's usually the first week in the 2nd week in July.
Right now, we're trying to set the board meeting agenda, right? So the issue in July is that we're saying that July we will have the retreat and no board meeting.
Never had a business meeting in July. We only had the board retreat.
Okay, so you're saying what I'm saying. Okay, so.
Yeah. So instead of 12 board meetings, we had 11.
And that's what you want us to approve at this point.
If you're going to continue the board retreat, continue it in July, or you can move. Like this year, we had it in October because of COVID, but I'm recommending that you probably have it in July. It's just the date.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm asking. I mean, right now we're not trying to fix the retreat. We're trying to fix the board meetings.
Okay.
Right? So as I understand it so far, we want to shift the June to the 17th, the December to the 16th, and we're gonna leave the July out of the board in lieu, and they're gonna be substituted by the retreat. That's what we're saying, right?
That is
Yes.
correct.
Okay. I'll move for approval on that basis.
But I think what I'm trying to say, Mr. Chairman, is that I think Attorney Williams said leave it the date, the fourth week. And ordinarily, we didn't have it in the fourth week. We had it in the like around the 7th or the 6th, 7th, and 8th, because that's when the consultants used to set that date, those period just for that. If we change it, we may have some problems.
I'm not
All we're gonna
asking
do is eliminate the business
Board meet-
meeting, and on the side you put board retreat date to be determined.
Right.
Okay, fine.
I so move.
Okay, need a second?
Second.
I'll second that.
Hold on.
Trustee Colwood,
Yes.
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Liger,
Yeah.
Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Callender,
Yes.
6 yes, 1 absent.
All right, you have motion passed. You have your schedule for next year. And we have a proposed new language for procedures for election of retirees to the board. What is new about this language?
Mr. Chairman, you didn't get the markup copy. However, we did make the changes and we sent it to board council. Board council made more changes, and it's let me see, let me get the red line. Number 2, I think it's added. Number 3, changes were made in number 2, number 3. And there was also some changes in E, the last paragraph in E. There was a change also in C, the first paragraph. It says or telephone. In 4, numeral 4, there was a change in the last paragraph again, or for internet or. But the significant changes were in 2 and 3.
Two and three.
On the first page. Letter 2 and 3.
Mr. Nibbs, are you on your computer? Can you share your screen where you have the markup?
I don't know. Ms. Glendinning,
Yes, Mr. Nibbs?
you have that markup copy that we received from, I had sent it to Ms. Cooley. Do you have it on your computer?
I will open it now.
The red lining that we received from Attorney Williams.
Good morning. The red line copy is on the attachment I sent to the board. It's a Word document.
Okay. Oh, it's a Word instead of the PDF. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Cool, do you want to share your screen?
No. Because my internet is very slow.
Okay, I'll share. Mine.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sure.
It's unstable. We had a snowstorm / ice storm.
You're having power problems too?
There it is.
Just internet.
Okay.
Changes. There are changes on all pages.
What day is Coley?
When I sent out the board meeting documents, so that would have been Tuesday.
The same day? Okay, hold on. +2, you see it's not one. Yep, I got it. All right, I see it. If at the end.
Did I stop sharing, Mr. Nibbs?
I guess until we make the decision.
That's it?
There are changes on all pages.
What was the purpose of this substantial change? A lot of these changes look very, minor, but you said there was one substantial change.
Number 2 and 3 on page 1.
And the purpose was to do it, or the objective.
Because of the situation in St. Croix where no one was nominated, it's saying that the election have to be held again, that type of thing. Remember, there were no procedures in place for something like this. And the last meeting we had, you were the one that asked the question about what procedures we had, and the board told us to go back and come up with some new language for the procedures.
Okay.
Okay. Is anyone ready to make a motion?
If there are no questions or problems with it, I'll move to accept it as amended.
No, okay, I'm sorry. Back up 1 second.
I'm not seeing any other red lines except that section 1 and 2. Mr. Nibbs said there are changes on all pages, but I'm not seeing anything else.
Go back and there are changes.
Yeah, there were just.
There was a change in C, number C, the first paragraph, instead of internet and telephone, internet or telephone. Under E, there was a change from chairman of the board to chairperson, just to make it gender neutral, I guess. Also, at the first regular board meeting, regular, put first, then after receipt of the official appointment letters. And then on the other page, under Roman numeral 4, first paragraph, a capitalized system. First paragraph, the sentence before the last. And on the third paragraph, again, internet or instead of internet and that was it.
Okay. Okay, trustees, any more questions? Any additional questions?
No.
Hearing none. Do you want to make a motion, trustee Cohen?
I so move to accept the amended version for the voting for the Board of Trustees.
Yeah, sure do. Okay, it's S as in Sam.
Who second?
Second.
Trustee Colwood?
Yes.
Trustee Bowery?
Yes.
Trustee Cohen?
Yes.
Trustee Liger?
Yeah.
Trustee McDonald, absent. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
6 yes, 1 absent.
Okay, motion passes. All right, so we have some new procedures. This portion of the meeting will be closed to the public for matters pertaining to trade secrets or financial or commercial information, or personal or legal matters, or matters whose premature disclosure will frustrate the implementation of the proposed agency action. Need a motion to go into executive session?
I so move.
Second.
Trustee Colwood,
Yes.
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee Cohen,
Yes.
Trustee Liger,
Yeah.
Trustee McDonald is absent. Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Calendar,
Yes.
6 yes, 1 absent.
And we're going to executive session in a minute. So we take a 5, 6, 7 minute break.